Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to be taking a look at how you can use Cubase's built-in arpeggiator to create polyphonic or chord arpeggios. I'm not sure what the exact term is. I've heard both used. To start off with, this is a feature which is only available in Cubase Pro and Cubase Artist because it makes use of MIDI insert effects. So if you don't have those versions of Cubase, then I'm afraid this won't be useful to you. But it might be one of those things where you think, well, one day when I do upgrade, this will be something I can use. I actually found this referred to in another product demonstration where they said that their arpeggiator was one of the few which did chord or polyphonic arpeggios. I don't think that's the case. There are plenty of plugins which do it, but Cubase actually has it built into Arpache SX, so that's what we're going to be taking a look at. This is for those kind of chordy synth trance things specifically, but you can use it for lots of different things. But I'm just going to show you how you can make a pattern and then put it into the arpeggiator and then use it. So if your keyboard skills are as bad as mine, you can sound like your keyboard skills aren't as bad as mine, which is always good. So first things first, let's just create a 2-bar pattern, which we're going to record and then edit and then put into the arpeggiator. So there you go. I chose to record it after bar 1 because often I find either I'm not in time or it isn't. But either way, we're going to use this 2-bar pattern here. So I'm just going to tidy this up just by altering the notes, lengths and positions. So just open it up in the editor. Just going to hard quantize it to 16ths, which hopefully will fix most of what's wrong with it. That looks reasonable, I think. And then fix the lengths of these to 16ths, and then these first ones, I'm going to fix these to 30-second dotted, so they're going to be a bit shorter than a 16th, so there's going to be a bit of staccato in there. So now we should have the pattern that roughly I think I want. Yeah, nearly. So with that, just want to move that one. There we go. That's going to do. And finally, just going to trim this. So it's 2 bars long. But now, obviously, you could use anything you want. You could make anything you want. It doesn't have to be this kind of thing. But I just thought this would kind of fit for what I'm messing around with here. So now, on the track we're using, which is going to be the same track, we're going to go to the MIDI inserts section. So if this isn't available, just click the cog here and make sure MIDI inserts is turned on. And then we're going to put the Arpache SX on. So this is something that's only available in Cubase Artist or Pro. So there we have our arpeggiator, which typically, if you started playing chords, it will play all those fairly useful, kind of straightforward arpeggiators. But we're not going to use that mode. So what we're going to do is go into sequence mode. And we're going to drag our MIDI sequence to this part of the window here. Now, the key to doing that is to make sure that always on top is turned on, okay? If it's not, when you try and grab hold of this, your arpeggiator disappears, which is a frustrating experience. So just summon it back again. Make sure always on top is there. You'll see the window style change, and then you'll be able to drag it on. So we're going to drag it onto here. Now, this, in terms of visual feedback, isn't that great. But just do it confidently. So pick this up, and then when you drag onto here, it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but make sure you just leave it there. And then there you can see in this area of the screen, it says length 2, 4, 4, 1 pitch, 12 triggers, etc. So we're nearly ready to go. The last thing we need to do is to click Arp Style, put it on repeat, and then now when we play a chord, it's using the rhythm that you used here, but playing the chord back that you're inputting. So now I can pretend that I'm from the late 90s. There's 2 ways we can record this. You may have already seen this in a different video. So because I've got it as a MIDI insert, I can hit record here, and then that will record the output of this to the track so we can record it directly. So let's do that. So now we've got this, we don't need this anymore. We can delete that. It won't get rid of it here. So if I hit record, again, I'm going to leave it a bar before I actually start playing. But if you're anything like as ham-fisted as I am on the keyboard, admit I'm doing this awkwardly over here for the camera with my left hand badly. I'm making excuses. You may not want to do that. So often I find it easier to just record what you're actually playing and then edit that, particularly because I make so many mistakes. So I'm just going to re-record that from the beginning without record output to track turned on. So let's say that's what I wanted. It's much easier for me to edit this and play around with it before the arpeggiator. So we can just open this up, just close the arpeggiator, just set this to 1, put that on there, and then quantize the ends. And then now we've got something which is going to play perfectly as if I actually knew what I was doing. If you want to edit that further, it's pretty easy to do. So you can just set your locators around the range that you want. So in this case, I'm just going to set it around that 4-bar range. If you're in context, you would want to solo this track because otherwise you'll end up with more MIDI than you need. So if you had more than one track, you'd want to solo this. And then you go to MIDI, merge MIDI in loop, make sure include inserts is turned on, which is the default. Hit OK. And then once we move the original out of the way, you can see what's actually happened. For a moment, you think, oh, that hasn't worked. But there you go. So now you've got the mix down of that arpeggiated part. And then let's say you wanted to edit some of these notes. You might want to play around with them and maybe have that change throughout. And then you've got that, and that's all good to go. It's just a standard MIDI part. The last thing you'd probably want to do is turn off the arpeggiator because arpeggiating, the arpeggiation can get messy. Sometimes it's creative, other times it's really not. So there you go. That's how to use Arpache SX in Cubase to come up with chord-based arpeggios, polyphonic arpeggios, how you want to call them. And it's all built into Cubase, so if you're using Pro or Artist, you have everything you need, and away you go. As ever, hope you found that useful, and if you have, please comment, like, subscribe, etc. It's all really useful, and we'll see you again soon for more Music Tech Tuition.